Hey fellas, do you know what this is behind me? This is a laser level. Now, I know that you probably don't know what a laser level is, but you've got a neighbor. We all, except us out here, we all have a neighbor. His name is something like Curtis or Champ, always with a junior or a third or the fourth after it. He's the guy that comes out on a Saturday morning in the cleanly pressed overalls and goes out and cuts his grass and edges it, fertilizes everything, weeds his yard and changes the engine in his truck all before noon and comes inside without a spot of grease on him. He has a laser level. You and I, on the other hand, we go outside and pull the lawnmower out, and we're covered from head to toe in grease. So, I don't know if you're like me, but I always want to go over and grab that guy and kick his ass and paint his children green. But don't try it. His children are just like him. The green paint just falls off. I know, I've tried. But here's what I can do for you today. I can show you how to use a laser level and at least not look like Jethro Bodine. Hi, I'm Robert Earl from the Eco Ranch. And today's project is going to be beginning to put the roof on the garage, bedroom, and bathroom. So, here's what I have to do. Getting halfway serious now. I have to shoot a laser line, make the cuts, and lay my cross beams and then my purlons. So, I'm going to get everything all set, give you a little idea how to use the laser, how to basically use a laser level. Now that clown in your neighborhood, he can sit out there and he'll turn his on and he'll walk around beep, 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 beep. In about 12 seconds, he will have built an entire 9,000 square foot house. You and I, on the other hand, we got to wipe the grease off our hands. So, I will show you in just a moment how we go ahead and do the measuring to at least get everything as level as possible without standing there using a string line and a level. And hey guys, okay, first of all, I don't know if you can see much of me or not, but don't worry about me. You see these two dots here? These are from the laser level. These are marking a spot where the laser is hitting this 4x4. Now this 4x4 is already cut to the right height. We're going to back off and show you. Okay, this 4x4 here is supporting the first section of the roof. Now, what we want to do is we want to measure these other two 4x4s with the dots and get our line lined up on the other two 4x4s for the cut. So, we're going to go ahead and line up the, in fact, let me get you set up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to line it up on the second post. And I don't know how to use a laser level outdoors and make it spin so that it spins and you can make the mark using the sensor. So what I do is I use the stationary dot. Now here's the stationary dot. The second one is hidden behind one of the supports on there and it won't show up. So I'm just going to mark my second dot. Now here's the dot on the second one we're cutting. Actually, I think you see me better over here. Here's the dot on the second one we're cutting. So we're going to go right ahead and mark that line. So we've got the three lines marked. Now we don't need the laser level any longer. We can just turn it off. The line's set on this one. So now what I do is I measure from the top where I'm going to want my headers to go. I measure from the top down to the line, which is 53.5 inches. Now here's the tip, guys. It's 53.5 inches. Right on the board, 53.5 inches. Now we know. Now, what we're going to do here is measure from, I'm getting a little wind, so my tape's giving me trouble. Measure up here. Now here we have exactly 58. So, we have 58 inches here. Wow. Over there we're at 53.5, 58 here. So what do we do, guys? you subtract 53.5 from 58. So 53.5, 54, 55, 56, 57.5, 4.5 inches. And what I've written here on the post is 4.5 inches cut. And I've also written the 58 there. What I have to do when I'm ready is I have to climb up there, measure down 4.5 inches, make my cut across, then it'll be perfectly level with the rest of the structure. Now we're going to do the third 4x4. Okay, measure the third 4x4. Now this one's quite a bit taller, but again, it doesn't matter. You think it's taller, but it isn't. This is 55 right here. So we have 55 inches there. Guys, what was the measurement over here? See, I'm not like that guy in the overalls. I gotta go and double check myself. Okay guys, I'm ready to make my first cut. What I did was climbed up here, measured by 1.5 inches, used the speed square. Always use the speed square. Just get in the habit of it. If you're not in the habit of it now, use the speed square. It's a lot easier on things. Made a line on 2 corners so I could see. I'm holding a new Sawzall blade. Another good thing, especially when you're working on your house. This is my home. This is going to support the weight of my roof of my home. Hopefully this thing will be here for 100 years or more. Don't use a dull blade. And a good rule of thumb is if you don't know how many times you've used this blade, it probably is dull and you should get a new one. Now this is a brand new blade. So we're going to go ahead and make the cut. Brand new blade, nice, clean, fast cut. I'm going to go on and cut the second one. Okay, second cut. I've measured off my 4.5 inches. Remember, I had that written down here. Ready to make the cut. I took the outdoor speaker down because it was exactly where the cut had to go. So now we'll make this other cut, and hopefully we're ready to start lifting the beams. Okay, this is a good, it's a good thing to show you guys because, you know, some people might, there's some guys out there that'll look at it and say, boy, he's talented, he's a good carpenter. Can't drive a nail straight. So here's what happened. I started to cut wrong. I stopped. I'm going to go in from the other side. This is what you do. If you start and make a mistake, you go in from the other side. One thing I don't like about a Sawzall is it's difficult to see where your line is. Go in from the other side and hopefully we'll have it straight. Or not. Okay, the fact that I started it wrong didn't make any difference. What I ended up with was just a tiny notch here, but everything else is okay, so no harm done. But it would have been harm done if I'd have continued to cut or said, oh, I'll just turn it and go up. You don't want to do that. You want to stop dead, start again. It took me a long time to learn that, and honestly, compliments to my father-in-law, probably the greatest carpenter and builder I've ever seen. He taught me that, and they taught me that when I was in my 40s. If I'd known that when I was in my 20s, I might have, who knows? Who knows where you would have gone, you know? I don't remember what that old saying is, but if wishes were money or something. Anyhow, the fact is he taught me and I learned. Hopefully somebody can learn from this, or at least if you can't learn from this, take a look at me. I'm kind of a putz when it comes to this stuff, and I'm up here doing it and it's staying together. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's the message we try to get across here, Debbie and I. We're not trying to say, look at how great we are, look at what wonderful people we are. No. We're average people to below average. I mean, I'm the first one to say when it comes to building, I'm a below average. But I do it. And if I can do it, you can do it too. And if you don't think you can, Get out there and build a shed. Get out there and do something. Watch a few episodes of King of the Hill in reruns. You'll figure out you can do something. The biggest thing is, the guy who has the most regrets in the world is not the guy who failed at everything he tried to do. It's the guy who never tried to do anything. Okay, back in a while. Okay, well, the headers are up, and if you remember yesterday working with the laser level, and just the laser level, we're going to try to zero in on the bubble. My hand's a little shaky because we're really telephoto here. There's the bubble. And we shot that completely with the laser level, and you see that thing is perfect.